Today, let's start with Texas recruiting buzz because there's been a couple new predictions. And now, not yours, but there are some new predictions on the On3 recruiting prediction machine for Jamie French and Michael Terry III. Steve, we've been warning fans all summer long that the Horns' time will be coming, and it seems like it's now.
Well, at the start of the month, we said that Texas could be the program to watch in August. It could be a five-star month for them. They already landed receiver khik Lockett last week. He chose to play for the Longhorns over LSU, Texas A&M, Florida State, and Alabama. So a huge pickup for Texas and company. Also, this week, I doubled down on my On3 RPM in favor of Jamie French for the Texas Longhorns. There were some times this summer where Miami particularly has made me nervous about my On3 RPM in favor of Texas, but talked to some sources about that recruitment leading up to this episode of Whip Around, and I'm feeling good about my RPM in favor of Texas for Jamie French. They just have to get that one to the finish line going into his announcement date of August 30th. Michael Terry III, his family, he has told me that he's wanted to come off the board prior to his senior season. Maybe that gets prolonged into the fall. But I think that Texas is still the program that is maybe setting the pace right now with the style of offense, the multiple ways they want to use him. Tashard Choice has been the lead recruiter on him for years, but he's really started to up the dialogue with offensive coordinator A.J. Milwee as of late. So also loves the time he spent around Coach Sarkisian when he's been on campus. So Texas is definitely a program to watch for Michael Terry III. Oregon and Nebraska trying to change that narrative. Nebraska trying to get him to campus for a game this fall. Sean Callahan reported that, our friend from Husker Online. And, I confirmed that as well with the source. But right now, that one seems to be stacking up pretty well for Texas.
It does seem to be stacking up well for Texas right now, which it kind of leads me to the question, can Texas get Michael Terry III to shut it down before summer ends? Because, like you said, he's going to be at Nebraska early in the year. If he's at that Nebraska-Colorado game and the Huskers find a way to win that in prime time, I mean, it just seems like Texas has such a lead right now, it would only hurt them. Not necessarily that they can't land him, but if they could shut it down, can they?
Well, you keep giving opportunities to Nebraska and Oregon, and if Nebraska particularly comes out this season hot, look, Nebraska is going to be looking to potentially flip a lot of guys as well. We've talked about it with Florida and some other programs, going to talk about it with Miami later in the show, but Dawson Merritt committed to Alabama, Chase Lofton, tight end, committed to Florida State. Michael Terry III, these are guys that they're battling for right now still, and a big season could help them. We saw them flip Dylan Raiola late last cycle, obviously a legacy recruit. But these prospects are intrigued by Nebraska. They want to see what they look like this year. And if they get off and running, if they win a big game against Colorado early in the year, if they finally return to some sort of prominence on the field. How many straight losing seasons is it? We haven't seen Nebraska in a bowl game in quite some time. We haven't seen them win a close game in quite some time. But if they can get it rolling in Lincoln this year, like Matt Rule and company are planning to, they could come back around on a Michael Terry perhaps. They're definitely going to try so with Dawson Merritt, who's committed to Alabama, and Chase Lofton, who's a tight end committed to Florida State.
Yeah, so keep an eye on that Michael Terry recruitment. I think it's going to go into the fall, but if it ends early, I think it ends for Texas. Speaking of Texas ending a recruitment, offensive lineman Nick Brooks, he's massive. He goes 6'7", 360, and he's closing in on a decision we think. Who are the main players, and is Texas about to land a massive prospect on the offensive line?
I like where Texas stands with Nick Brooks right now. It's up to USC to change that narrative. I think those are the final two programs. Georgia rounds out the top three, but Texas setting the pace. USC, the program that could maybe change that narrative.
All right, Texas fans, talk to us. We told you the month of August was going to be exciting. Just how exciting is it going to be? Let us know who you think Texas finishes with this summer.